All right, guys, we're going to be moving on to reflections, lesson 3, coordinate plane, student handout, lesson 3, reflections. And I hope everybody has their packet ready. And this is just if you were absent, but we're going to go through this and hopefully get some things clarified. I just went over a good review of the coordinate plane before Christmas. Now we're after the break here, and we're going to put our head down here. So anyway, let's go through reflections. Anyway, so we're going to use this number line to help us a little bit. Opposite of 6 is certainly -6, right? The two numbers 3 away from -1. So two numbers 3 away from -1 is 1, 2, 3 is -4. I'll put a comma. And another one is 1, 2, 3 is the number 2. The opposite of 2 is -2, and these are just common sense things, right? The opposite of -5 is 5. Neither positive nor negative. Well, that's a 0, and I'm going to do that. And you see I put a slash through there. It's just a good idea so you don't get that confused with an O. The two numbers 6 away from -3. Well, here's -3, 6 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is -9. And another one would be, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 3. All right. A reflection flips a figure over a line of reflection in order to create a mirror image, okay? Each reflected point of the figure should be the same distance from the line of reflection, and you're going to see how this fits together. This isn't too bad. And some of you already know, but the line of reflection on the opposite side, right? Okay, so we're going to start here with some simple reflections here. All right, so what is the line of reflection? Well, remember, this is the X and this is the Y. So the line of reflection is the y-axis. Okay, our line of reflection here would be the x-axis. And then finally, this line of reflection is the y-axis. Okay, so we're just trying to break it in here. All right, now, when we look at this, number 4, what's the line of reflection? Well, certainly it's going to be the x-axis, right? Right? The original image, okay? So when we look at this, the original image is in quadrant 1, okay? And I'm just going to go quad, Q-U-A-D, sorry about that, quadrant 1, and the ordered pair is 3, 4. Now, when we reflect over the x-axis, what we're going to do is change the sign of the second number, okay, or the second coordinate. So the new, when we reflected over the x-axis, our new quadrant is quadrant 4, and the ordered pair is 3, -4, right? See how that coordinate changed? Then what do you notice? What do you notice when you reflect over the x-axis? You change the sign of the second number, okay? If I were to reflect over the y-axis, I would change the sign of the first number, so I would, okay? All right, let me make sure we're in good shape there. We square it away. Hopefully you can see that. And let's continue on here. All right, so a reflection of an original shape or point is noted with an apostrophe. Okay, and that's what we're talking about, that apostrophe. And it is read as a prime, and you'll see how this is. All right, okay. So reflect the image over the x-axis, right? Over the x-axis, record the coordinates, all right, of the original image and the new image. All right, so here's letter A. So our original, start here, -7 and 7. And if I want to reflect that over the x-axis, I'm going to change the sign of that second number, right? So now I'm going to be -7 and -7, which puts me down there. And I'm going to call that A prime. You see how I did that? A prime. So my new image is -7, -7. And that puts me down into the third quadrant. Letter B. Letter B is -3 and 7. -3 and 7. And B prime now will be -3, okay, and -7. So that will put me down here. I'll put that, I'll denote that with B prime. Okay? And we'll call that -3 and -7. Letter C is -3, 1. All right. Well, C prime is going to be -3 and -1. We'll put that right there. And finally, letter D is -7 and 1. And D prime is going to be -7 and -1, right? So what observation can you make about the original and the new images? So when I went over the x-axis, I changed the sign of the second coordinate in the ordered pair. All right. And that's what we did. So all right, I just changed the sign of the second coordinate. All right. Now, let's do it again, but this time we're going to go over the y-axis, and I'll bring that up for you a little bit. Let me take that up just a tad. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing, but now we're just going to flip over the y-axis, right? We're going to flip this over to here, right? So our ordered pair is 2 and 3, so I'm going to write that down. And to flip this over here, I changed the sign of this first coordinate, so it's going to be -2 and 3. All right, so I'll put that right there. We'll call that A prime, and I'll write this there. Okay, let's try that again with B. B is 8 and 3. And to flip it, I'm going to go -8 and 3. Put B prime there. -8 and 3. C is down in the fourth quadrant, so it's 8 and -2. 8 and -2. So now I'm going to go -8 and -2. And there's C prime. -8 and -2. And then finally, D prime is -2 and -2. We'll call that D prime. And so this was, D was 2 and, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself there a little bit. 2 and -2. Now it's -2 and -2. Okay. And again, what do you notice? What observation can you notice? Well, to flip over the y-axis, we change the sign of the second coordinate. Excuse me, we changed the sign of the first coordinate. I apologize. The first. And that's how you flip over the x and the y-axis, guys. All right. Thanks. You can go ahead and start on your homework.